It's time for another trip through the ups and downs of the Lucas Oil MMA Pro Motocross Championship. And every time you think you have the answers to the questions, they change the questions and then the answers. More of the dramatic twists and turns of this championship tour as the Racetracks Motocross Show presents the Budds Creek National. Coming up next on AllySports.com. Big crowd on hand at Budds Creek, Maryland, round 4 of the Lucas Oil MMA Pro Motocross Championship. Jason Wygant going to take you through the highlights of our 450 and then 250 classes at the Budds Creek National. Coming into this one, the big question was Ryan Villopoto's first moto performance and overall win at High Point going to transfer over to momentum here? Well, as they say in this sport, momentum's only as good as the next motos start. Chad Reed grabs the whole shot. Michael Alessi steals the lead from him. Villopoto is in third, so it looks like Reed is in a good position to try to stop Villopoto from getting 2 in a row, but it didn't last. On lap 2, Villopoto grabs a handful of throttle and gets around Reed. And then you know what's next. A classic Alessi versus Villopoto battle. Shades of Villopoto's breakthrough run here in 2006 against his arch nemesis. And just like he did then, Villopoto would get to the inside. Didn't get too aggressive, but was able to make the pass. So now it's Alessi in the number 2 spot with Ryan Dungey closing in on Reed from 4th. Dungey all over Reed, who just didn't have his typical pace at the beginning of this one. Dungey was able to make the pass and get to 3rd, and then go after Alessi and make the move. Dungey's in the number 2 spot. The problem is Villopoto has a gigantic lead, about 9 seconds. But Villopoto stalls the bike, and that allows Dungey to close the gap. It was a dogfight down the stretch between the Ryans, but Dungey could not find the room to make the pass, and by only 1.5 seconds, Ryan Villopoto wins Moto number 1. You see Dungey there rolling up on him at the end. Reed was 3rd. Alessi got passed down the stretch by Kevin Windham for 4th. Let's go to Moto number 2, a role reversal. Alessi's got another good start. Dungey is up there as well, but Reed makes the move on Dungey on lap 1. It goes after Alessi. Ryan Villopoto, we're waiting for him to roll up, but he would struggle in this one. Reed in the number 1 spot would soon be under fire from Dungey, who passed Alessi. Dungey went after Reed. Reed would pull away. Then Dungey would close back in. Then Reed would pull away and Dungey would close back in again, and so on it went throughout this moto. But under pressure, just like he did in the second moto of every other race this year, Reed able to hold on and take the win. Dungey going to take 2nd, a distant 3rd for Villopoto, who said he had stomach trouble. Wyndham busts through for 4th over Alessi. Check out the overall results here in the 450 class, the rest of the top 10. Nice job for 6th for Medi, and it's Millsaps, Weimer, Short, and Grant in the top 10.
I put myself in a great opportunity. I got the whole shot and just couldn't get around Alessi, and I just got frustrated and didn't ride my race, and the 2 Ryans just smoked me. So, went back to the truck and had a good think about myself, tried to think about some lines, and come out in the second one and try to ride the way I know how to ride. On Monday, or actually Sunday our time, we announced that I received an Order of Australia, and that was a big deal for me. It's quite an honor, quite a special thing for me, and just kind of tried to carry that momentum in, and was terrible in the first one and was able to rebound in the second one and ride a little better.
I got to put myself in good positions, and I couldn't make it happen. I was tried right behind him the whole time, and I couldn't make passes. I would go for it, lose some time, get caught up in a rut. It's just one of them deals. Not frustrated, but it was tough. Both motos I ran out of tear-offs. I went through them more quicker than I thought, and but there's no excuses. It was once it was hard when you were behind the guy. There's that good line, and once you went off that, like I did a few times, it seemed like I'd lose time every time.
Let's get to the 250 class. Dean Wilson has some confidence coming into this race, considering he won his first ever overall here last year. Needs some points to get the points lead back from his teammate Tyler Rattray, but don't forget their teammate Blake Baggett, who was so dominant last week at High Point. Now, Wilson has been saying all year that his starts have been his big problem, but not this time. He's going to grab the whole shot here in moto number 1. Going to deal with some early pressure from Kyle Cunningham and just about every other fast rider in the 250 class. It was close early in this one. Wilson here going to pull a little involuntary knack-knack. Here are his pursuers: Rattray, Tickle, Cunningham, Darren Durham, and Eli Tomac. Rattray able to keep the heat on Wilson right around the move. Durham, who moved up to 4th and challenged Tickle for 3rd until he crashed, said that his forks broke. That hurts. That's going to lead the Monster Pro Circuit guys 1, 2, 3. But what would be the order? Rattray would keep the heat on Wilson, so they could keep within about 3 seconds all the way through this one, but was not able to get any closer. So Dean Wilson obviously likes it here at Budds Creek, and he likes it even more now that he's got a first moto win over his teammates and even presidential candidate John Huntsman on hand to watch. Let's go to the highlights of moto number 2, and those starts for Wilson, well, they went away. Not up front in this one, a bunch of Yamaha riders. Gareth Swanepoel and the 533, the rookie of Gannon Audette here, as well as Rattray and Justin Barsha. Rattray is going to maneuver into the number 1 spot, and Barsha, who has mono and shouldn't be strong by moto number 2, rode a phenomenal race. He closed the gap on Rattray and kept the heat on. But again, the veteran from South Africa does not wilt. He would not allow Barsha to get by. As for Blake Baggett, 7th in Moto 1 after a bad start and an off-track excursion. A big crash early in Moto 2. He would climb back to 7th again. Wilson would climb up to 3rd. That's not good enough to hold on for the overall. So, Tyler Rattray, by virtue of 2-1 moto scores, wins it. Wilson 1-3 is 2nd. Barsha, Tomac, Tickle round out the top 5. Baggett didn't have the magic. He's 7th.
Came in this weekend, just kind of wanted to race. That's it. Doctor's order was stay home, lay in bed for 3 weeks, do nothing. So I'm just lucky to be here racing, and I'm happy with the outcome today. This is one of my favorite tracks, the best dirt for sure of the whole year. So I just really enjoyed myself today, even though I wasn't feeling the best, a little under the weather, but I had a great time.
Well, in practice, I actually had a pretty good crash. It was second lap. You know, they got that wheels on the ground flag, and so you don't jump anything. So second lap, you know, I was just going up to that triple step up in the back, and I just over jumped it by like a good 15 feet and just landed in the soft stuff and got thrown over the bars. And I mean, I hurt my wrist a little bit, but I mean, it didn't really bother me racing.
After 10 minutes, I knew Justin was still there, so I tried to push a bit harder, and I still didn't get away. So just try to keep that pace going, and yeah, I eventually managed to break him, which was awesome. You know, I put down some good lap times, I think, in the middle of the moto, and he was there the whole race, and I think with 5 minutes to go, I managed to break him and yeah, get the win.
All right, let's analyze the action here from Budds Creek. We have one of our top pro.
It's just me.
We have Steve Mathis joining us.
It's round 4.
Yeah, that's all.
I'm surprised it took you this long.
We've already run out, and we've now turned into Steve Mathis. It's just the 4th round of the year. You are a journalist, though, so you can help us break down what you saw through your very critical expert eye. Let's first talk about the 450 class. Every time you think that Chad Reed is finally about to crest the wave and the Ryans, the fast guys, are going to get him, he somehow answers back.
Yeah, you know, I mean, the first moto had to have been heartbreaking. 30 seconds back at the finish.
Right.
No goggles, so maybe Tad had something to do with it, but still, he got worked. No way around it. Second moto, last year's reigning champ, all over him. Holds it strong, even pulls out at the end, and like you said, the guy is just, what else can you say? He's just he's phenomenal this year.
And shades of our second moto at the opener at Hangtown, Dungey got him, Dungey closed in, Dungey put in a charge. It looked like Dungey might make a run. Last lap and a half, Reed had it.
Yeah, you know, I think lappers had something to do with that. There was a ton of lappers. I was really impressed with Chad's ability to get through them.
That's
because,
true.
You know, he's the first guy. They already know Dungey's coming. He impressed me getting through the lappers, another thing. And I think Ryan, he doubled that triple going up the step up, and that was it for the last lap.
So Reed pulls away, and maybe just as surprising, Ryan Villapoto dominates the first moto. Everyone thought after High Point that this is the real Villapoto now. We know how well he does in this track. He had never lost a moto.
Right.
But he lost one in Moto 2, just like Reed did in Moto 1.
He did, you know, and I was talking to Ryan right now after the race, and I asked, hey, you took a long time to get around Michael Alessi. You lost some seconds. He didn't take that as an excuse. He had to go to the bathroom really bad, all moto.
Yep.
Said he tried to go to the bathroom.
Mid-race?
Yep.
Okay.
He said he needs 30 minutes, though, and a Racer X to make it happen. He didn't have that opportunity. And that's, folks, I mean, he was being honest. It seemed like that really affected him, clearly.
I'm glad to know we're the magazine of choice, though. It makes us feel good. That's why we have you on the show.
These are the things that I know.
Let's go to the 250 class real quick. Blake Baggett comes in. Kind of like Villapoto, we're thinking, man, when this kid is on, he's unstoppable. It did not happen for the Chupacabra today.
One good race, one bad right now. Baggett's sort of in that trend, you know. But second moto, folks, he takes a horrendous endo. Gets up, dead last, goes all the way to 6th, I believe. And an incredible ride by Baggett. Even though, like I said, he had a bad race, he did nothing today to make me not think that he's still going to be right there the whole way.
Well, that's a good point. That's my question. So you don't think the wind is out of the sails? You're going to chalk it up to he went off the track in Moto 1, he crashed in Moto 2, but the magic's still there?
Absolutely. No, I wouldn't think anything about it. He's got himself now a points deficit to make up. But no, he was still very impressive today.
He's about 30 back right now, but it's a long series as we saw last year with Trey Kennard. But it's going to be hard to make up points in bunches when you have Tyler Rattray, who basically never has a bad race.
Yeah, you know, he's solid. He's an older guy for the rest of the class. He's been around a long time, and man, he doesn't impress you with his blazing speed, but he just keeps on trucking. I think he likes that red plate. He doesn't have any intention to let it go.
And finally, we have Dean Wilson, who at the opener at Hangtown said, you know, I didn't even expect to go out here and win the first race. I'm cool with just getting some points. But after coming close to winning there, close to winning round 2, close to winning round 3, close to winning round 4, and still not getting an overall, I got to imagine his tune is changing here, and he's getting a little frustrated with this.
I think he is. I tried to talk to him after the race, and he split pretty good.
Yeah.
He reminds me a little of Justin Barcia when he came in. He just can't find that consistency right now. But speed-wise, one lap hanging all out. His jersey's hanging out, and Dean is also hanging it out. So speed-wise, it's fine. But you're right. He's got to be getting a little frustrated. But I think he's still okay.
Yeah, and he's very close to points. So it comes down to this. Wilson saying his starts have been inconsistent all year. He proved it today. A whole shot at Moto win, a bad start in a third. He loses the overall. Rattray said that he's really been working on his suspension setup. Didn't like the way it was at High Point. Much better today. He gets the win. And we're still waiting to see if another team could challenge these guys. Justin Barcia had mono, still put in a good ride in Moto 2, but no one's really getting close to these.
No, I'm looking for more for Eli Tomac, to be honest. I'm waiting for him to step it up. We all know his pedigree, and we know that he showed us last year that he's fast. Another thing with Rattray, now going to Florida for 3-4 weeks. Going to be down there riding with Villapoto every day. You know that's an incredible goal to chase around the 450 guy. That's right. And that's going to do nothing but help him. It'll be a long summer, folks.
It's what Blake Baggett's parents said made Blake so darn fast, chasing Villapoto. So they're all going to do the same thing. All right, that's going to wrap up our RacerX Motocross show from Budds Creek. We'll be back 1 week from now at Colorado.
Will I be back?
We're going to really hope we can find a rider, someone who really knows what he's talking about. Although you brought better analysis than any rider we had, just saying.
I'm just not as good to look at.
No kidding. All right, that's our show. We'll join you next week. Go to allysports.com all week long for all the updates on this Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship.